News of the wars getting grimmer by the day. The sea terrors are coming, swarming. This is the day when the ocean-born calamity broke and sunk Ager's seemingly infinite starward growth. Aren't you going to the surface, Mayors? More and more people have been getting too anxious to stay in Ager. I'm not. If Ager falls, it only means that the surface is too soon to follow. Why? Think you'll head to the surface too? I'm thinking about it. While there weren't that many, people around me began to leave for the surface. I considered some of them to be close acquaintances. They all tried to convince me to leave with them. But fleeing my home in favor of the land didn't feel right. The foretold calamity descended. It dealt a heavy blow to Ager, but the surface suffered much worse. I had to help them. How could I not, after hearing that such a terrible thing has happened? I think I'll head to the surface. Seriously? The surface? Think hard think hard about it before you go. If you leave now, coming back might not longer be an option. Every day might be a struggle for them. At least I don't have to fear for the immediate tomorrow. So it's my responsibility to provide help as someone who is better off than them, even by a little. I know, but if I don't go there to help, things will only get much more dangerous for the land dwellers. Maybe that danger is the very thing that'll hurt you. I still think I have to help them. I procured myself an Aegirian research vessel at a cheap price to bring me to the land. Unable to even submerge itself while moving, this wasn't exactly the best ship out there, and I normally wouldn't have even given it a second look. But I thought it would at least help me navigate the coastal sea. I didn't expect this. The very first thing I witnessed on the surface was the bottomless hostility against the Ager. They denied my and Ager's offer for help for the sole reason that I came from the sea. They denied my compassion, my research. Get lost! We don't need your stupid research. You're from the same place as that calamity, aren't you? Do you really think we're so stupid that we'd trust you? They confiscated my catalyst and tore my research apart. My wish to stand with them against the calamity was devoured by the hatred born of the same calamity. Any kindness, any compassion I gave them was repaid twofold in hatred and suspicion. Did the terrible conditions of this land transform them into monsters? Or was this always their nature? It wasn't long before the research vessel I brought from Ager was confiscated out of suspicion. A rebellion de las masas. A few weeks later, when I finally came across that vessel by the beach, there was an uncanny name inscribed on its side, Rebellion de las Masas. But none of that was enough to stop me from continuing my research for the sake of the land dwellers. I went through so many trials and errors to somehow impede the sea terror's rapid evolution, to revive the Iberian soil contaminated by the Nether Sea brand. But my work bore barely any fruit, and I let days float by as I watched the Inquisition arrest the Ager one by one. When my sea terror samples and research notes came into view, they all looked completely different from one another, some of them with fundamentally different physiologies. Even still, nothing stopped them from being us instead of I. And for the first time, I became doubtful of my efforts to interrupt their evolution. The tales were not entirely fabrications. Mayors is a bishop of the Church of the Deep, so that automatically makes her a sinner in the eyes of the Inquisition, regardless of her reasons. The more I studied them, the more I found them to be such compassionate, altruistic creatures. All they cared about was their survival, without even a hint of selfishness. They're not some evil monsters from the sea. Mayors. I concede that the Seaborns may not be evil, but it doesn't matter what they are, whether they are kindly life forms or whether they are simply a different form of civilization. It doesn't matter. because Iberia and her Inquisition does not define Seaborns as evil. Seaborns are our enemy, threats to human existence. I have but one thing to say as an Inquisitor. You, all of you, are my enemy. But it would be a good thing for the Inquisition if I were to leave for the city, wouldn't it? Why would you say that it's a good thing for us to toss our problem into another world? That'll be like abandoning our pride. Unless they, the people of the city, give you permission. As an Inquisitor, I can't let you do that. Yeah, and don't get your hopes up about that either. You can wrap it in the box that says compassion for all you want, but Mayors, your course isn't exactly the direction I'd like to sail in. As the rest of the sinners prepare for battle in silent agreement with Ishmael's stand, Mayors mutters with genuine disappointment. They didn't want to do this. Waves. I had no better word to describe the horde of sea terrors crashing into us. But this is the only way it could have ended. Your words are composed entirely of your own color and no one else's. Manager Dante, right? Do speak. We will hold the line and defend this place against the sea terrors rushing in from the rear. So, in the meantime, can you take down Mayors and deal with the remaining sea terrors? Absolutely. The manager has responded affirmatively. All operators will be drawing the sea terrors to us. We don't need to take them all down, we just need to act as a wall between the wave and the people of Limbus Company. Irene, we would like to ask for your help as well as for Amia. Please assist Limbus Company, just in case. Okay, then, let the mission begin. Oh. Okay, I was like wondering what is the dungeon aspect of it. Ooh, look at this. Kinda straightforward, I guess. We come across a cabin full of sunken ship remnants and golden treasures that have washed up inside. There are all kinds of unfamiliar sculptures and twinkling golden coins. There's a whole pile of treasures here. Hey, the records here say that this used to be a ship that sailed all across Terra. It must be a ship built for conquest, built during the golden age of Iberia. Look, it says here that this is a golden chalice made in Sargon. Combine an armada of tall, proud sails, unparalleled technological innovation, and a certain king's greed, and you get this. It's the kind of glory we can barely hope to retrieve now. These items would be extremely valuable outside, but none of them seem very helpful for the situation at hand. So we continue to look, just in case. Yeah, sure, keep looking. Ryoshu. Nice. Picked out a golden compass from inside a weathered bag. The inscription on the compass indicates that it is an artifact created during the era of grand expeditions. How is this artifact still so intact? This place is only a bridge, made of items pulled from the group unconscious that are most appropriate for the Phantoms. It may truly exist, but it may not be reality. Irene stares at the compass for a moment, tempted, before turning around, having accepted the fact that it probably isn't a real artifact. Gold Forge Compass. Plus coin skill, heal 5, minus coin, lose. Each unit cannot draw minus 40. Can start max SP or at minus 30 or less, gain 1 power up. Nice. Alright.
금방 다녀올게. 아름답진 않.
Holy shit, I'm cooked. Let's see what happens, I guess. There is a long line of people waiting outside a rundown building. Inside, people in hoods are distributing something to the visitors. I thank the ocean's blessings. No, we only wish to help you sate your hunger, even a little. We haven't seen you around here. Clearly, you've traveled far to get here. Welcome. Sorry everyone. Please understand, they're new here. People in hoods dragged us inside. It's not much, but you should hopefully be able to sate your hunger. Dried fish, huh? Amia and Irene called them fin beasts. But the other people have it first, dude. Every time we eat them, of course. Go Merceau. So glad you enjoyed the food, but did you actually eat it? Or Merceau replies calmly, while the flavor was certainly unique, we did like it. At that, they seemed to withdraw their suspicion and turned away. Glad to hear it. Please, come back anytime and we'll share some more. Without any reason to stay, we left the building. I felt a little prick on the back of my head as though the hooded people are staring at us as we walked away, but we managed to quicken our pace and disappear. The terror jerky. 3 levels down to all enemies. Ooh, see terror 70. At the center of what appears to be an arc symbolizing the city. At the center of that brilliant golden light must be Mayors. Let's take a quick break here. Are you alright, doctor? I just need to take a quick breather. Woohoo. You should probably work on your cardio, or Miss Amiya might have to piggyback you around. Yeah, well, once we get back, I'll start working out like Kalsit suggested. Executive manager, if it ever comes to it, you may trust me with the piggybacking. I'm good. Perhaps being in close proximity to May's vision of Utopia and the center of the light did something. Seaborn Stairs only gave us a passing glance without attacking us. Something about the way they looked at us felt like they were concerned about us. The sinners couldn't help but look away with a funny feeling. I feel sorrow, regret. Maybe these feelings are denials for all those times she spent agonizing over this. Can we really bring back Miss Mayers? We'll help her return. That's what we're here to do after all. Alright, let's rest up for a bit before moving on. Take a moment to collect yourself. After taking enough rest, we continue on toward the reflected light. Revive all the sinners of... Thankfully. I was wondering, like, since there was no shop, if I was able to survive. Oh, they didn't reset the SP either, so that's best. Sloth and gluttony. Okay. Oh, straight to the fight? Okay, I thought we were gonna... Mayors' despair, the repulsiveness of people's ill intent, and the faint hope from the light found within. All kinds of emotions and memories rise to the surface of Amiya's fathoms, then sink again. Those same thoughts seep into me as well, unfiltered. The sins that people have committed won't just go away. Humanity's ill intent will propagate and unimpeded too. But the tides that Miss Mayers is trying to summon to douse it will devour humanity, their civilization, and the city they come from. So, I don't think that's the right way to go. Not as long as Dante and the people of Limbus Company refuse. This isn't like the time I retrieved the eagle. In place of the light, a speck of darkness casts a shadow. Reach out into the darkness, a strange power courses through me. Radiating towards the sinners, emotional connection for the duration of the encounter. May I know what that does? Whoa! On hit against enemies, 50 divine chance to gain 1 eagle resource. Nice. Enemy dies after allies gain 2 resources in an encounter. 1 eagle resource of each affinity consumed when using the following eagle skill. Okay. Oh, only the... Okay. Skill does not deal damage against targets. Gain 100 abyssal vitality. Okay. Should I start stacking ego passives? Let's see. Units. Should I save my ego or not? Sure. Does kind of feel like a waste to just use it. And start at 10, gain 3 blunt and soft protection. So there. Gain bind but deal affinity. Yeah, we do. Let's go with spamming. Should have used her other one. Thinking. You guys are thinking, eh? Nah. This is panic related. Interested in that either. It's really good. Okay. What about you? This SP. I like the least SP by the count of high resonance. So doesn't matter, right? Trigger tremor burst, inflict 1. Oh, that was pretty good. Oh, should have kept Ishmael's base eagle. This one is the thunderer thing, but to be honest, not really sure how that works, but fuck it. This one did not get hit at all. All I need to hear. Windows is gonna get hit. 5 maggots. One is SP related, right? I mean, it should be okay to heal after. Don't mind if I do. Rushbound pass. Start of the combat phase. Go straight to. Yeah. We should heal, right? Some people's SP will be pretty bad after the end of all this. Yeah.
교정에 따라 실행합니다. 이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
산타さんの作戦とても効果的でした. 한눈 팔지 마세요. 메말은 당신에게 파도는 반드시 밀려올 테니.
흐릿한 등화, 곱게 접은 종이에 번졌으니 식구의 하늘, 용이 되어 빈 벼로에 남았구나.
Two Patos
여행에는
Matos.
목적이 있었지.
눈부시지 않다 두려워하지 마라.
이 구속구가 나의 폭력을 저지하기엔 턱없이 모자르지.
모든 결과들은 파우스트가 알아요.
She's gonna blow. Oh, she didn't even roll hits.
敵の調子が悪くなっているみたいです。
Was I not expecting this? Consume when using every time consume heal SP. Would we kill off? I guess I please current targeting clash 1, targeting a heal. Targeting echoes. I don't get it. Okay. Consume summon 3 fewer than 3 on the field and you summon either. Okay. Consume every time see terror is killed. Take fixed HP damage. Oh okay, so just kill off the other people. Ends combat phase. The sea brand. Okay. Could be a little hard, but I wouldn't say discredit.
좋아, 간다.
승리를 위해서라면
총원, 조명이 전멸하는 저곳으로 파도 모든 것을 쳐부술 거다. これがリンバスカンパニーの戦闘。私もまた一つ学ばせていただきました。
이 검은, 이 명예는, 이 영광은 빛바래지.
多数討伐確認。 아득한 여정. 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하시길.
모든 무상무정 시선해봐야 부질없다 해도 기꺼이 저 풍진 세상으로.
증기압축 피스톤 압력 제한 해제. 관측 완료된 시간부터 계산 완료. 축적된 과거 변화. 모먼트가 유지. 발사.
Itu. Yo. What? You've aged a lot since the last time we met, Fabi. Is this a characteristic of your sub-race? You haven't aged a day. So, what brings you to the Church of the Deep? Sea bonds are indispensable in our preparation for the impending doom. Nothing else can ensure the survival of humanity. Thus, it would only be right for me to join hands with those who are able and willing to become sea bonds, to search for a way to prolong our existences. You're looking to use the knowledge of the wise and the talented as nourishment for sea bonds, but that won't do anything more than prolong our existences. But is survival alone not enough? I thought a bishop of the church would share a majority of that belief with me. Bobby, you and I both have put our faith in the sea bonds, but the word faith might mean something different for you than it does for me. Sea bonds shouldn't be our object of worship. We have to stand on equal ground as them and set our eyes on their natures. Please, step aside. Desperation, sadness, sympathy. May his emotions gush upward, carried by bubbles. Terra, a land in which the hatred for the different has entrenched itself. The city, a place in which people crushed by the trials of life have surrendered to its absurdities. They both need the sea bonds perfected beneath the light. That is but your wish, Miss Mayers. Faust does not believe them to be necessary elements for the city. Even in the city, there are people who are searching for reasons to live on, dreaming of a better world. We all know that it can't possibly be easy to change, but there has to be some kind of worth, value, in that process alone, in the lives we lead within the city. What worth could there be to a life of the unkind? The kind of life humanity is doomed to exist in, where all we ever do is hurt and hate one another. Listen, efficient order, natural altruism, they're both virtues humanity should never lose sight of. There's no such thing as absolutes when it comes to the value of life. Survival is the right of all civilization, which means that it should never be up to others to define the worth of life, to argue for it. But what if there's no other way? Can you even understand what I'm saying? Some time had passed since I made Faro Muerto my home. Unlike my prediction, the Seaborn's evolution seemed to have lost its explosive progress, and Fabius seemed to be content just observing their slow development. Maybe it's because they're directionless without a specific wish. Even still, Seaborns were the key to changing Terra, the land. To stand against the incoming calamity, we needed their survivability and adaptability. And the humanity that has turned exhaustion into ill intent needed the Seaborn's blind, selfless altruism towards their own. So, while I never stopped my studies, something small but sharp continued to stab at my frustrated heart. Stultified and unable to be resolved, if we were to lose even our sense of selves and creed, assimilated into this stagnated great will, for the sake of survival, civilization had to be no more. For the sake of us, I had to be no more. The realization of that paradox made the first crack in my confidence that Seaborns were the answer to the problem Iberia, the land, and humanity faced, and through the cracks the seeds of doubt were sown. But I'd already come too far to find a path more beautiful than the Seaborns. No more wasting time with these stupid illuminations. There has to be a way, some kind of condition Seaborns need to fulfill to retain their sense of selves, to retain their individual hopes and wishes. I stood adrift atop the inundation of years I dedicated to this purpose, holding on to this precious hope and still my heart shaking. And that was easy, but there are no better solutions. Don't look away from the answer that lies right in front of me. All I need to do is to find a way for Seaborns to hope and wish, to have them each carry a sense of self. I just had to repeat that to myself like a mantra, again and again. My drifting days came to an end when I found a new path, illuminated by the strange light from across the sea. On that day, yes, the day when that faint blue light shone, a whisper visited me. Who's there? Whose voice is... What? The answer, sought through the eons by people I didn't recognize, played over and over in my ears. The voice that spoke it was muffled but warm and beautiful. The light of the city? The hearts that were lost, the emotions that were forgotten, the sense of self that... No, that's enough of that, but I'd like to hear more about the light that has sprouted from the 10 virtues. And the image those words drew in my mind was clearer and more beautiful than ever. The city. They both failed to find a way out of this bridle. If they're going to be satisfied with living on as they are, then you can't change what you see by standing still. If you want to bring about a better world, then even if you may be lost in the ideals, you have to keep walking. Survival. Worth of life, as I've never been too certain about either of those complicated ideas. I had no unflinching creed with which to convince her. It's not to say that the city has no need of the altruistic nature Mayers wants to bring there. It's not to say that I have a better answer than the combination of seaborns and the light. Even still, the emotions, the regrets, the conversations I found and collected over this journey alongside the sinners have become my answer, and I take on. Honestly, I don't really know the city all that well either. My memory only goes back a year, and for what is practically my entire existence, I've been surrounded by the sinners and our adventure. Still, I want to keep trying. You're right, the city is an absurd, vicious place. Something new and horrible surprises me every other day, but... Mayers, that light you spoke of, I don't think that's what protects the ego, the sense of self. To protect it, you have to first look unflinchingly both ways, the path that lies ahead and the one that you fucked on. Then you can confront them both. That can't be right. The light, it has to. You're just working based on what you heard about the city and the light, ain't that right? How can you be so confident that the light will be able to protect the seaborn sense of selves? Ain't that just what you want to believe? I think it's a distinct possibility. Even if the light can do what you hope it does, Mayers, it won't change anything. Turning our nature's kind by transforming us into seaborns, a convenient method like that isn't our path. Because the sense of self protected like that, the kind of nature attained like that, wouldn't be our own, it'd be yours, Mayers. Protecting your own sense of self while being compassionate and kind, it's a path of unbearable suffering. We might fail some days, despite our best efforts. Some days we'll be forced to confront the sins of our past and suffer. Verily, not one of us as we are now may see the combination of that path. Yet, I can hardly find it within myself to simply leave it all in thy hands without so much as trying. You're saying that seaborns can be the answer I've always sought. It doesn't make sense if you think about it, Mayers. Those sea monsters don't even know what self means, that's why they show no hesitation before sacrifice. If you were to introduce the sense of self to those sea monsters, the selflessness you want will be no more. It's a seaborn shaped distortion who is not a seaborn, and endlessly anguished contemplating distortion. If Mayer's wish is to achieve an altruistic world, then her desire has to be that she doesn't want her efforts to become meaningless. Seaborns may be the perfect answer for some people. A recent example, Fabius. It seems clear to me that was precisely his wish, but it doesn't seem to align with yours. Find a new answer, Miss Mayers. You're telling me I have to go back to wandering for so much time again, in search of that new answer? You won't be alone on that path. Walk it together, relying on one another, and it won't feel as long. Trying to carry such a heavy burden all by yourself, Miss Mayers, it's such a prideful thing to do.
Round 2.
なんだかただならぬ気配を感じます。
저택을 안내해주지.
이 스며들 듯한 비, 우산이 새지나 않나 모르겠소.
아득한 여정, 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하시길.
쓸데없는 관심 필요 없다. 이런
수많은 것들이 옥죄어 온다.
The tides carry away the windows to May's past, soon devouring them beyond vision. It's almost as if May is in the dungeon of the fathoms. No, the ocean itself is fusing into one. A majority of distortions encountered by the bus team never assume a form generally recognized as an organic entity. However, there is nothing preventing a distortion's form from breaking that boundary and taking a different shape, as it may vary by the individual's desires. If a distortion is allowed to exacerbate undeterred, it may eventually corrode this very space in which we stand. As we were taking some time to catch our breaths, a few small machines tumbled to the ground, shot from one of the trembling fathoms. It may be one of those mysterious machines in May's home we saw when we peered into her memories. The machines continued to whir loudly as though the waves broke them. We saw that there were various apparatus attached to the sockets on their sides. Expensive they appear, yet how numerous they are. Well, you know, maybe she's similar to one of those fixer fellas who are always hell-bent on picking up every new cutting-edge workshop tech. Huh, it says, a little handy down there. This has an oddly similar structure to the Hand of the Saint the Inquisitor brought. Then shall this fantastically wonderful machine be of assistance in our battles? Rhodes Island already seems to have their hands full holding the line against a tide of sea terrors. We should probably take just one and leave the rest to help them out. After a quick discussion with the seniors, we decided to take just one of the machines. Wilderness Survival Module, Max HP and HP Healing Boost. Enhances the effects of the Hand of the Saint. Gain safeguarding effects against stagger. Counteracts and Odyssey's brand influence on sinners. Temporary power boost. I don't really know what the Hand of the Saint does. So shit, I think I don't need the max health and stagger. I don't know what the Odyssey's brand influence on the sinners does. Fuck it, we just power boost. External upgrade module detected activating attack command. I don't really understand how it works, but that sure sounds helpful. With the end of the duration of the encounter.
Limbus Company の皆さん、この勢いに乗って勝ちに行きましょう。
For 3 turns, gain 2 power up to each turn. Okay, so I have 3 turns. Fuck it, we ball. I like those odds.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
여행엔 목적이 있었지.
Okay, I don't think anyone tagged it. Alright, that's good.
흐릿한 등화, 곱게 접은 종이에 번졌으니 식구의 하늘, 용이 되어 빈 벼루에 남았구나.
저 책을 안내해주지.
한눈 팔지 마세요. 메말은 당신에게 파도는
It's because of
반드시
that
밀려올
bunker
테니.
looking thing. The tidal energy is one enemy passive thing's not gonna work.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
아득한 여정, 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하시길.
수많은 것들이 옥죄어온다.
Yo,
今こそ勝機をつかむ時です。
40. Don't mind if I do. Crash rules, power down, blah 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 blah. What? What? Oof. All that for a favorite, huh? Should have kept Kaput then. What's the plan here? Don't really have one. Let's hope the extra sloth resonance helps in the long run.
좋아, 간다.
Do it, Gregor!
이 검은, 이 명예는, 이 영광은 빗바래지 않을 테니.
Damn. When I saw he had to roll 3 hits like 4 times in a row, I'm like, you know what? Jesus, how many people died? I see 4 people here, that means... Oh,
囚人に致命傷を確認。至急対処をお願いします。
ooh, solutions. Really did not make that easy for me, did you? Hey, I got some dominatings. Don't mind if I do. Everyone else looks like they're gonna die.
금방 다녀올게.
저
Sancho.
루신한테 꿈에 닿을 때까지 몇 번이고!
무불아위.
모든 걸 걷어들일 순 없었어.
Do we? I like to think so.
행동을 개시합니다.
자, 빌어보세! 이 돌이 기꺼이 그대에게 가서 맡기를!
Ooh, that's close.
아득한 여정, 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하시길.
Not much flame, but just...
이 불 또한 예술의 황홀 경치.
기록에 따라 당신을 반드시 집행하겠습니다.
모두가 너를 잊어도 반드시 되찾을 거다. 내가 너를 위해 기도할 것이니 넌 반드시 부서진다.
림버스 カンパニーの皆さん、この勢い
Yo.
に乗って勝ちに行きましょう。
금방 다녀올게.
아득한 여정. 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하시길.
敵が優勢です。状況を今一度把握し直さなければ。
지 보여주지.
내가
이 검은 이 명예는 이 영광은
모든 시선 이끌리지.
빛바래지 않을
림버스 컴퍼니の皆さんとご一緒できて本当に嬉しいです。
행동을 개시합니다.
정의보다도 푸른 자로 생명 속에 파묻힌 그대가 여기서 빛은 우리 앞을 막는 증오스러운 나와 그대의 힘을 합쳐 위대한 아르카나 슬레이거!
아, これがリンバスカンパニーのやり方なんですね。勉強になりました。
끈적거리가 돼. 절대 피할 순 없을걸?
이 검은 이 명예는 이 영광은 빛바래지 않을
수많은 것들이 옥죄어 온다.
囚人が退却できませんでした。
해보겠습니다.
수많은 것들이 옥죄어 온다.
リンバスカンパニーの皆さんとご一緒できて本当に嬉しいです。
물어드릴 수 있다면
囚人が退却できませんでした。あ、ダンテさんには
예술이 뭔지 보여주지.
나무와
아니야.
함께
밀어붙여!
베어
멈추지 않는
넘겨드리죠.
시대에서
기꺼이
희망과
그대에게 가서 맡기를!
답을 구하시길.
수많은 것들이 옥죄어 온다.
囚人が退却できませんでした。
이 이 검은, 이 명예는, 이 영광은 빛바래지 어느 순간
아득한 여정, 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하시길.
敵が来ます。皆さん戦闘の準備を。
Oh, I hope this works. This
해보겠습니다.
is taking way too long. 100. Come on, pew pew.
하얗고 슬픈 안개. 그저
100. Nice. Okay.
해도를 피울 수는
77. Nice. 600. Okay. Let's go for patch play, even though the enemy does not have
예술의
burn.
황홀 경치.
Nice, 600. 174 more. And it's a clear. Jesus.
더는 하늘에 오르지 못한다. 당신의 힘 끝없이
Ooh. Alright, let's go with the... Oh man, I thought it were gonna be the bright finish, but this works too. I that thing can't even be staggered, but hey, all's well that ends well. It's true that people scrutinize others for differences to find something they can hate, but it's also true that it's often those very differences that people look up to. And admiration usually goes hand in hand with overestimation. Yes, and Miss Mayers admired these two unknowns, Seaborns and the light. She thought they would be the solution to everything. Mayers, do you still want to go to the city? No. I'll remain here in Terra. I'll broaden my studies and I'll talk more to find a new path forward toward realizing my wish. As for what will happen now, Miss Mayers, we're going to need to have a long talk with the Inquisition, but we'll help too. We'll help you in your search for that path if we can. The great arc built from the city crumbles. Light fades and gives way to shadows, and we found ourselves back aboard the vessel Massas. Battle complete. Vessel Massas, it's slowing down. How's Miss Mayers? Here, unconscious. The mental strain seems to have taken its toll. It all happened inside the dungeon of the Phantoms, but it can't have been too easy on her mind to send so many waves after us. What will happen to Miss Mayers now? First, we'll wait for the Inquisition's ruling, then bring her to Rhodes Island. Her efforts were misguided, but she also had Terra's best interest at heart. Together, I'm sure we can discover a better way forward. What if she's sentenced to death? Then we will need to offer a different proposal. We can consider it when we get to it, Doctor. It's finally over. All we have left to do is go back, as we were preparing to leave with our hearts much lighter than they were earlier. Hold on, everyone. Something's rapidly approaching us. A low thrumming roar vibrates the air as a strange shadow looms over the ship. Where'd this shade come from? Wait, is that... Almost as if driven by instinct, Ishmael takes the radio from Gregor and runs into the control room. Something must have clicked in Otis's head as she also turned and ran after Ishmael. Those two are running to the bridge. Brace! Grab onto something! Oh bollocks, mucking it up right before the finish line. Doctor, Dante has advised that we grab onto something. I see, they're preparing to turn the ship around. Everyone, brace for impact. Stay alert, something's coming. The ship leaned heavily as it hurriedly turned port side, and I caught a glimpse of a massive shadow gliding just beneath the water surface, right where the ship was a second ago. What the fuck is going on? It's a seaborn, about the size of... no, slightly larger than the Vassarum SARS. Amiya's communicator buzzes with Ishmael's voice. The currents are going wild. Wait, no, something's causing these currents to go wild. We'll try our best to maintain evasive maneuvers for as long as possible, but we can't do this forever. If the situation does not improve, we may have to take the vessel Massas to cross the dimensional door. Does Rhodes Island have a way out of this quandary? Not at this moment, but we have to come up with one now, fast. Dante, does anything come to mind? We should first figure out why the Seaborn's coming after us. Copy that. I'll focus on steering the ship, so keep us updated. With that, the ship immediately begins a sharp turn, narrowly dodging the ponderous body of the Seaborn as it sweeps by. We can't just take the whole ship across the dimensional door, we're not the only ones on it. But the sea is too wild to simply turn around to let the others leave. It's almost like it's obsessed with this ship. Just why could it possibly be coming after the ship all of a sudden? Could it be that Fabius's order? It's coming after me, Scuddy. You? Yes, I'm their enemy, an abyssal hunter. As though to prove it, the giant beast began to charge against the bow of the ship the moment Scuddy repositioned herself there. Just what are the abyssal hunters? Why are they so gung-ho about trying to kill you? Abyssal hunters are those who hunt sea terrors and seaborns. Of course, this isn't based on any emotion such as vengeance or resentment. It's Scuddy's. Well, it's not important right now. Well, there's never gonna be a later, Carl said. Might as well just speak your mind, innit? What matters is that you're slowly getting Scuddy. Operators of Rhodes Island are heavily fatigued at this moment from their long defense against the waves in the dungeon of the Phantoms. The same could be said of us and Miss Amiya, who battled Mayors in the meantime. To engage that Seaborn in these particular circumstances. Something shakes the vessel massage once again. What's this now? There's more? There are indeed multiple entities surrounding our ship. However, a violent, destructive sound crashes through the waves toward vessel massage. Past a sudden wall of mist there was. We're lucky. Or was this simply how it was supposed to go? Isharmla! The last night. The night? 2 Seaborns. It's going to be fine, Miss Inquisitor. If he's the same knight we fought earlier, I doubt he'll be able to stop himself from charging a dead giant of a monster. Like Hong Lu said, the knight charged straight at the giant, upway at the great Seaborn as though he hardly noticed our presence. If we can help the knight repel that Seaborn, we just might have a shot at sending Limbus company back to the dimensional door and escaping aboard the vessel massage ourselves. Can everyone still move? I'm almost at my limit, but I can still move. I've got a plan and I'd like for everyone to trust me on this. Things weren't so bad outside after you'd entered the portal. Now's the time for the hunter to get to work. The bright ray of light from Irene's lamp shines upon those atop the deck while Scuddy leaps tall into the air using the ship's bow as a launching pad. The operators each scatter to their appropriate positions as commanded by the doctor. Ishmael and Otis both exited the decks as well, presumably having found someone to steer the ship. Is it okay to have you two out there? This cult seem to know enough about seafaring to take over. While this crisis is far from over, she was good enough that it was reasonable for us to leave the ship steering to her and descend to the decks of our return. It doesn't seem like we'll be able to bid you goodbye. Are you sure you're all going to be okay? We can stay a little longer and help. I appreciate the sentiment, I really do, but... Amiya pointed toward the dimensional door, which had shrunk significantly smaller since the first time we saw it. We don't have much time. I wonder if it was only supposed to be open for a set period of time, or what if it's closing now because our work here is done. There was precious little we could learn about it now, but it was obvious that our time here was coming to an end. Thanks, Amiya. We would have been lost for a while in this world if it weren't for Rhodes Island's help. Well, thanks to you, we should be able to sufficiently study the dimensional door before we return. Time to say goodbye to the Iberian Sea Breeze, I guess. Do you have any idea how big the pile of paperwork is going to be at the Inquisition? Murda. Try not to drop into Iberia next time, we got that? Sure, let's all stay nicely put into our own worlds. As the Great Seaborn briefly falters at the combined might of Scuddy and the Knight, the ship's bow managed to stop inches from the dimensional door. Yo, that's so cool. That is so cool. Well, I really like the Knight, especially knowing how they can talk to each other with actual Don Quixote, so it's like flying on Rocinante. It's so cool. Manager, now's your chance, get to the dimensional door. Someday, I hope we can meet again. We shall take our leave. Who's that? I don't know who this one and this one is. I like that the doctor is here. This Dr. Kaltzit? I did not know she was wearing shorts. That's a very big seaport. This is so cool. Let's return to the city. The sea had turned into a brutal battlefield, terrible roars contending with one another. After taking one final look at Rhodes Island defending the vessel massage, we leaped into the pitch-black darkness at the center of the dimensional door. We swept away by the tides of consciousness. The river draws out my memories and consciousness, sublimating them away. Then, yo, we're back at Hongyan. Where is this Yi Hongyan? I look around and see the sinners strewn about the room, dozing off. But I see Heathcliff crash like that all the time, but how did everyone crash at the same time, slipping against the walls? A bizarre sensation that something was truly amiss crawls up my spine. You have come too. Now that you have come to, I request that you continue your rest in your chamber. Your presence here makes it difficult to conduct cleaning activities in areas adjacent to your body. What? You just came through the dimensional door of the Rhodes Island. Rhodes? You were transferred here after the LCCA discovered your company unconscious at the entrance of the Lobotomy Corp branch. I feel like I just went through a memorable experience, but I can't recall what. There was a hole in my memory, and a strange emotional tug in my heart, an ego I don't ever recall extracting. Nom Roshinante, pretty, avail me but 5 more minutes of scheduling wooden training dummies to wake you in 5 minutes. But the bizarre sensation naturally settles. What was that abnormality? What just happened? I don't have any answers to either of those questions, but wait, where's Sword? You said something about how there's been a delay or something. I couldn't find Sword, who's been bringing us odd jobs here and there during our stay anywhere in Li Hongyuan. But the desk I did find a note filled with various requests and a letter, both presumably left behind by Sword. We've got a discussion contract, come. Time to earn your keep. You weren't going to lounge around until you get a message from HQ, right? Are they allergic to giving us time off or something? In that moment, a certain voice briefly surfaces from the abyss of my memories before sinking again. There's no such thing as absolutes when it comes to the value of life, which means that it should never be up to others to define the worth of life to argue for it. The worth of life. I don't quite recall who said that or even where I heard it from. Honestly, I don't even understand what exactly it was supposed to mean. You can't change what you see by standing still. If you want to bring about a better world, then even if you may be lost in the ideals, even still, some of those words will leave a lingering impression on my heart. You have to keep walking. Unable to sit still, I got up from my seat and began waking up the sinners one by one. Yeah, it's not like we're getting anything done here. On your feet, guys, time to get to work. The sinners each begin waking up, some of them looking around to get their bearings, like they were just pulled out of a long dream. Is that really how that ends? I don't know, it feels a bit anticlimactic.
훈장은 사양이야. 뭐 담배라면 사양 참겠지만.
Let's go. The Mlaina ego is very OP. Thing turned out fine.